is China has talked about shutting down TikTok, or ByteDance has talked about shutting down TikTok before they'll sell it, which leads me to believe that it's actually an asset for espionage, right? So you're not allowed to bring a phone that has TikTok into any government building or installation, if I understand correctly, right? But if Riley's kid has TikTok on his phone, that might be something that the CCP looks at as valuable.
Oh yeah, of course they do.
Anybody that works at SpaceX, if their family has TikTok on their phone, that might be something that's valuable. Anybody that works at Boeing, Lockheed Martin, Raytheon, anyone that works at at Apple or at IBM or any of these companies that are they're definitely military contractors, whether we like it or not. Google is a military contractor. Anybody that works at Google that has TikTok on their phone, that becomes an asset for China. So the fact that China doesn't want to sell it, that they'll shut it down, leads me to believe that it's not about freedom of speech or about the privacy of people. It's about a foreign government having basically a spy ring in the United States being operated by 14-year-olds that are the children of people in positions that are relevant to the CCP. And
yeah, I mean, they're building data files on every individual in the United States that has TikTok. And I mean, if you'll see, they'll push certain content to see if they can trigger certain types of emotional responses, making people sad, making people happy, things like that. So they're kind of testing us to figure out, well, if we were going to do some disinformation campaign in the United States, what would hit, what would not, what we could do to try to spin. So they're garnering and building a massive database of information on the American people, and that's what it's about. I know a lot of people like TikTok. I'm for the TikTok ban, just to be clear, but it's because it is dangerous. It's dangerous for us in the long run.
It is. I mean, it is reasonable to think, if China decides or realizes that that the Secretary of State's nephew has TikTok, and then they go ahead and fill his feed with stuff to make him depressed, and try to do things that will upset the family to make them stressed out more. That's something that's unquestionably real that they would attempt to do. If they can attack people's personal lives in the hopes that there are positive results for them in in negotiations or in decision making. I mean, it doesn't take very much for them to say, hey, make sure that this particular person's algorithm has a little bit of a change and is doing what we can to make them depressed. And it will know how to make them depressed. It'll know all the things to show them, and in just the right quantities, so that way they're not going to be like, oh my God, my TikTok just for no reason is just showing me nothing but murder all day long. It'll do it in a way that's subtle. These kind of psychological operations are not beyond the ability of sophisticated states like China.
That's right.
Right.